1 year ago, on October 7, 2023, Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel. The world watched in horror. Images of the attacks, the victims, and the ensuing violence seared themselves into our collective memory. Today, Israel pauses. They remember the lives lost. They honor the resilience of their people. But the conflict continues. Gaza and Lebanon are once again battlegrounds. The anniversary is a stark reminder of the human cost of this conflict. Families mourn empty chairs at their tables. Survivors grapple with trauma. For many, the wounds are still raw. The memories are still vivid. The ongoing conflict in Gaza and Lebanon demonstrates the fragility of peace. Dialogue, diplomacy, and a commitment to peace are the only way forward. Across Israel, memorials and ceremonies marked the solemn anniversary. At synagogues, prayers were offered for the victims. At community centers, people gathered to share stories and offer support. And at the sites of the attacks, mourners laid wreaths and paid their respects. The day was filled with a mix of sorrow and defiance, a determination to remember and rebuild. One of the most poignant ceremonies took place at the site of the Nova Music Festival. Last year, this place of joy and celebration became a scene of unimaginable horror. Today it stands as a symbol of loss, but also of resilience. Families of the victims stood side by side with survivors, their shared grief a testament to the enduring power of human connection. In Jerusalem, a special Knesset session honored the victims and the first responders. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the nation, vowing to never forget the attacks and to continue fighting against terrorism. Throughout Israel, people found their own ways to mark the anniversary. Even as Israel commemorated the anniversary, the echoes of conflict reverberated in Gaza and Lebanon. Israeli airstrikes targeted Hamas positions in Gaza, while rocket fire from Lebanon, attributed to Hezbollah, struck northern Israel. The violence displaced thousands and resulted in casualties on both sides, a grim reminder that the cycle of violence continues. The renewed fighting in Gaza has exacerbated an already dire humanitarian crisis. The Gaza Strip, home to over 2 million Palestinians, has been under a blockade for over 15 years. The combination of conflict, poverty, and limited access to essential resources has created a desperate situation for many Gazans. In Lebanon, the situation is equally precarious. The country is grappling with its own political and economic crises. The influx of refugees from Syria has further strained resources. The international community has condemned the violence and called for restraint from all sides. Section 4. The world reacts, calls for peace and a path forward. The anniversary of the Hamas attacks drew strong reactions from the international community. World leaders expressed solidarity with Israel, condemned the attacks, and called for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. U.S. President Joe Biden reiterated America's unwavering support for Israel's right to defend itself. He also stressed the need for a two-state solution, with a secure Israel alongside an independent and viable Palestinian state. Biden urged all parties to exercise restraint and avoid actions that could further inflame tensions. European Union leaders echoed these sentiments, expressing deep concern over the violence and calling for an immediate ceasefire. The Arab League held an emergency meeting to discuss the situation. The Arab League called for international intervention to protect Palestinian civilians and find a just solution to the conflict. Section 5. Scars of War, Human Stories from a Year of Conflict. Beyond the geopolitical complexities and diplomatic efforts, it's the human stories that paint the most poignant picture of the conflict's impact. Families shattered by loss, individuals grappling with trauma, and communities torn apart by violence. These are the enduring scars of war. In a small town outside Tel Aviv, a mother mourns the loss of her son, killed in the attacks. She speaks of his infectious laughter, his dreams for the future, all extinguished in a moment of senseless violence. Her pain is palpable, a reminder of the human cost of conflict. In a refugee camp in Lebanon, a Palestinian family huddles in a makeshift shelter, displaced by the fighting. The children are traumatized, their eyes reflecting the fear and uncertainty of their situation. Section 6. A fragile hope seeking resolution amidst the ruins. As the sun sets on this solemn anniversary, a sense of weariness hangs heavy in the air. The cycle of violence continues, a stark reminder of the challenges in achieving a lasting peace. Yet amidst the ruins, a fragile hope persists. The desire for a different future, one free from violence and fear, remains a powerful motivator. The path to peace is arduous and uncertain, fraught with obstacles and setbacks. But the alternative, continued conflict and suffering, is unacceptable. The anniversary serves as a stark reminder of what's at stake, not just land and resources but human lives and the future of an entire region.